What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Corey, and today our video is going to feature this Honda pressure washer that I picked up. I picked it up from a seller yesterday. She says it's been sitting around and it doesn't run. So our goal today is we're going to figure out what we're going to do to get this thing to start. So here's a few easy steps that we can do to check for that, so stay tuned. So there's going to be 3 steps that we need to look at to see if this thing will run. So the first of the 3 is going to be right here underneath this cover is a spark plug. We need to take a look, make sure this thing has spark, that it spins over freely. So let's do that. So what we want to do is we want to remove this cover, and we're going to want to remove this spark plug. I have a spark plug removal tool. If you don't have one, you can just use a socket that will fit on there. So we're going to pop that on there and break it loose here. So here's our spark plug, and if for some reason your spark plug looks pretty fouled out, which means that there's a bunch of corrosion and just black stuff all over here, then you may want to go ahead and replace that. This one actually looks fairly good, so we'll go ahead and just try what we have here. What we need to do is we need to pop it in this ignition coil, and we're going to ground it to the frame, and then we can pull it over and check it for sparks. So let's do that. So if you watch right here at the tip, if this thing actually has spark, when I pull it over, you'll be able to see it right there. As you can tell, we do have a spark. We're going to go ahead and put our spark plug back in there, tighten it down, and then if for some reason you've bought one that's been sitting for a while and been sitting outside, you may want to put a little bit of like WD-40 or some oil down the spark plug hole just to lubricate everything. But this one looks fairly good shape, so we're not going to do that here. But let's go ahead and move on to step 2. So the next thing we want to check is super simple. We just want to make sure that our air filter here is not all clogged up. As you can tell, this one looks fairly good, so we can leave that. And that brings me into step 3. So step 3 is going to be our fuel delivery. We want to make sure that this machine is actually getting fuel, that the fuel's not bad, and that the carburetor is working properly. So let's go ahead and check those things. So the first thing you want to do is you just want to pop your gas cap off, maybe smell your fuel, see if it smells old. If it does, then you may want to come down here, remove this hose that goes to the gas tank, and go ahead and flush it out and put new fuel in it. I've already put new gas, so I know that my fuel here is good. Also, make sure that your fuel is turned on down here at the valve. And then you're going to want to go ahead and flip it on, choke it, and then we're going to pull it over and see what happens. So it doesn't look like it's still starting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit it with a little bit of starter fluid. You're gonna remove your air filter here, and right in here leads directly to the intake of the carburetor. So spray a little bit of starting fluid in there and then see if it'll pop over. So as you can tell, we do have a fuel delivery issue. It ran on the starter fluid and then it died immediately. So what we're gonna do, if this still did not fix your issue, you can stay tuned to the end, and we're gonna pull this carburetor off and get that cleaned up. But for some of you, it may fire up, it may run and do just fine. So if you're good to go, thanks for watching. If not, let's hop on over and we'll go ahead and disassemble this carburetor and get that cleaned up. To get to our carburetor, you want to turn your fuel off, because once we pull that off, it's going to be leaking gas if not. And then you're going to have 2 10mm bolts here that you're going to have to remove. Make sure any gaskets that you get, you don't lose those either, so we can reinstall those. So this here is your carburetor. You've got your fuel line, you've got your throttle and choke cable here, and we need to go ahead and remove all three of those before we clean it. So there you have it. There is our carburetor. We're going to want to tear this thing down, clean this up the best that we can, and then we're going to reinstall it. So let's go ahead and clean it. To take this apart, if you've never done it before, on the bottom here is our bowl. This is where your gas sits, and we need to remove this bolt here to get access to that. So as you can tell on the bottom of this bolt, it's a lot of just buildup and gunk that's on there. So we need to look inside this bowl as well and see how that looks. And as you can tell down in there, it really doesn't look great. Neither does it in the inside the jets here. It's just a bunch of this kind of dark, sticky substance. So your jet down in here, you're going to want to remove that with a flathead screwdriver and then spray everything down with carb cleaner. Mine was a little bit tricky to get out, but I finally got it free, and that jet is completely clogged, so that's definitely our problem. So we'll go ahead and spray this whole thing down and get this reinstalled back on the washer. Also guys, I forgot to mention, when you're cleaning this, make sure you take out this little insert here. I'm not sure the exact name, but it's right inside here where you remove the jet. Make sure you take that out and clean all the holes. And also there's an additional jet in this top hole here. There's a screw that you have to remove. Just remove that and spray some cleaner in there as well. But now that we've got that all clean, we'll put it back on the pressure washer and we'll go ahead and test it out. So we finally got this thing all put back together. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up and see if she'll finally run. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I appreciate you guys watching. If this was helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, be sure to drop that in the comments below. But other than that guys, if you like this content or you just like somebody that fixes things up, go check out some of my other videos and we'll see you in the next one.